Alright y'all, what I got here is a gorgeous guava tree, and what I'm going to be doing today is I'm going to try to take a couple cuttings off of this and go ahead and propagate them into soil so they can grow into their own tree. Right over here I've already got some little pots set up. You know, they might not quite be deep enough. This time of year they really ain't got much of a selection, man, you know. So I got what I got. I've got my own dirts that I've made down here. This one right here, I'm working on a compost. It's not done yet, I haven't used that, but I've got a couple of different kinds of soils down here that I've made from wood chippings and stuff like that. Really old mulch, like 10-year-old mulch, stuff like that. So that's what I'm using in this today. And then I also put a little bit of cactus potting mix in it, so that way, you know, it drains a little bit. So what we're going to start off with is I'm going to show you guys which branches I'm gonna cut. Now, when you're doing this, you want to choose a branch just like this one that say, you know, it's healthy, it's young, it's got quite a few nodes of leaves on it. I got mosquitoes tearing me up right now. So I'm going to take a clipping off of this one right here, and then that's a little young, so I could take this one. This is like its own whole little branch, so I might take that one. Oops. I might take this one. I know I'm taking this one, and I think I'm gonna take this one right here. I don't see anything over here that I could use. One thing I will say, when you're doing this, you always want to clean your shears. You know, it's kind of like, say you're doing surgery. You don't want to use a scalpel that you use on somebody else that you haven't sterilized. Same difference. Also, a lot of people they'll use this kind of shear. It's got a flat, open it up, it's got a flat and then a sharp end. When you're cutting like that, you don't want to use something like this. You want to use something like this. It's got a sharp end on both ends. That way you're not squishing your plant. So I'm gonna go ahead right now. I'm gonna take a couple cuttings. I can't do it while I'm holding the phone, I'm sorry. But then we're gonna get it in the plant, in the soil, and we'll go from there. So let's get started on this. Another thing I didn't mention that I figured I should, I'm not going to show any labels because I'm starting to get copyrights on my videos. I'm learning new stuff every day. A rooting hormone. You're going to need a rooting hormone for this. So I've got my rooting hormone, and like I've said in other videos, you never dip your cuttings straight into your hormone. You dump your hormone into something, the cap, or something else you got lying around, and that way, just like I said with the shears, you don't cross-contaminate. Now, I only cut one so far, but what you want to do, as soon as you get that bad boy cut, you want to get that thing popping in some water so it doesn't start dying off on you. I just filled up this here little watering trough thing that I got here. This little water, I put a little water in it, and I'm dumping it in. I don't have my razor blade with me, but my next step, once I get a couple more cuts is we're gonna take this and we're gonna shave off that bark. I'm gonna use my shears because they're really sharp, because I didn't bring my razor blade. I completely forgot it. And then we're gonna go from there. But I just wanted to I wanted to go ahead and throw that in there because I forgot to mention that as well. Okay, so as you can see what I've done, if you can see what I've done, I know my camera's not the best, but I've gone about an inch and I've sheared off all that outer layer so the inner pulp is visible. Let me see if I can't get my camera to focus. Okay. And you want to do that so that way it gives it plenty of room to grow roots from. So I also went and I clipped off most of the leaves, because what they're going to do is they're going to draw a lot of energy I left the top leaves and that little bit of growth. I might wind up taking these next 2 leaves. We'll just see what happens in the next couple days. And then the same thing on this one. I haven't sheared off any of the leaves yet, but I've gone about 1 inch up. See if I can get it to focus. And I've taken off pretty much all that outer bark to get to the inner pulp. I got a little bit left on there to still get off. And then I'm gonna clean this one up, take off a lot of them leaves, and then we're gonna get them into some soil. I actually changed my mind. I don't know what I was thinking, but that thing I was using, it was just too shallow. So I went ahead and I filled up these here little cups. I think they're 4-inch cups. And those are gonna be perfect for what we're gonna do here today. Once I get that sheared up, I'm gonna get them in some rooting hormone and then get them in some soil. Okay, so I got this one all finished up. I actually left a little bit more leaf on top just in case. You know, I am pretty new to this, so just in case I was wrong and we do want a little bit more leaf up there, you know, for photosynthesis, I went ahead and left a little bit more up top. Now what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get this end here, and I'm going to get it completely covered in this rooting hormone. I'm using the cap because I really ain't got nothing else out here. Oh hell, nothing else out here right now. And I'm trying to get my camera focused while I'm doing this. And then I'm going to put it down into my, give me 1 second here. And I'm going to put it down into my soil. See if I can set my camera up for just a second. All over that thing. It's all nice and kicked up on there. Even dump some on it, just so I know. Okay, and then my soil's still dry right now. I haven't wet it yet, so I'm gonna just punch a hole down in it in the center. Sorry, I know I'm a horrible cameraman. And I'm gonna stick that bad boy right down in there. Just like that, and then I'm gonna cover it up. Okay, so now my second one, I'm doing it a little bit differently because, like I said, I'm learning just along with you guys. That one I didn't water beforehand. This one I went ahead and got all nice and soppy wet before I stick it in, just in case if when I water that one, I don't know if it's gonna wash off that rooting hormone or cause any issues. So I wanted to go ahead and, you know, just kind of do a little experiment here and see which one works better. So I've got this thing completely covered in the rooting hormone. I'm going to stick it down in my soil there. And that's so wet down there. I'm actually going to probably pour a little bit of rooting hormone down in there. And then cover it up. My fingers are wet. Fingers are wet. Won't stop recording. Oh, come on. Okay, so here we have it, finished product. Even though that I use these 4-inch cups, they really still weren't deep enough for these cuttings. So I went and I broke off some sticks, found some sticks that would work pretty well to hold them up. I'm gonna get some twisty ties. I collect twisty ties, it's kind of a thing. And I'm going to put some twisty ties around them, not too tight, just tight enough that it'll hold it, make sure they don't fall over, nothing like that. And you know, like I said, I'm learning with you guys, so we'll see if this works. I mean, I hope it works. I think it'd be really, really cool. This will only be my third transplant like this. That was my fig, and so far fig's not looking too bad. It's only been a couple days, so I thank you guys for watching, and as always, check back with me and we'll see what happens.